What's up, real ones? It's your host, Rueben. I don't dodge the tough questions, and I'm never afraid to speak the truth. If you're new here, welcome. We celebrate stories, unpack the hard stuff, and talk about the things that actually shape us. So take a breath and lean in. This is Getting Real. Getting Real. Getting Real. Getting Real. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the newest episode of Getting Real with Rueben. You guys know you've been here a while already, a couple weeks, and I want to reiterate, there is a reason why I started this podcast. And the reason is because we need to get real with the faces that we're seeing in our community, the faces that we're seeing making waves in our community, whether it be small influencers, big influencers, people that have 10 followers to people that have 100,000 followers. And one thing I wanted to touch on before we start today's episode is kindness. It's been brought to my attention because I am a huge fan of Love Island that I think we get lost in this reality, quote unquote, of maybe people on social media or on television shows, and we forget that they're people. And so I wouldn't be doing anybody any justice if I didn't start this episode by reminding people to be kind. And I also understand that we are human. And so in our small groups, we sometimes have inside jokes, or we cackle about certain things that we see. But it's important to understand that is why our circles are so small, because we have a trustworthy relationship. So it's just important to understand that putting your own opinion on someone's post, or putting your opinion on a news post on Facebook, Instagram, wherever it is that you get your sources from, just remember to spread kindness and give grace, because I'm seeing that a lot these days. So I wanted to start the podcast just with that small little tidbit, because I think it's important, and I think we'll probably touch on it in today's episode. But before we get to that, here is a quick little message from today's sponsor. This episode of Getting Real with Rueben is sponsored by Luis Guajardo with Mortgage Capital. He is a mortgage lender, and he knows his stuff. So if you want killer rates, if you want someone who's going to understand you, more importantly, and the process, then you need to contact Luis Guajardo with Mortgage Capital. He is amazing. Thanks again, Luis. All right, so we are so excited to get today's episode started. You may know this guest as Siempre San Antonio, and in doing a lot of research about her, I have found out so much. And even in today, before we turned the cameras on, I said again, you know her as Siempre San Antonio. You'll see her around town. She is LGBTQIA+ friendly, and I am just so excited to have her here. So everyone, please welcome Gabby. So Gabby, welcome to the pod. We were talking off camera. For those of you that are watching, we had a good 5-minute chat before we started, and then we had to pause because I wanted to learn so much. So first, tell the viewers, if you don't know who Gabby is, you guys have been living under a rock. Tell us exactly what you do and how it started. Kind of take us from the beginning.
Yeah. So I'm Gabby, Siempre San Antonio on Instagram and TikTok. I talk about all things San Antonio. When it comes to food is where I really started. She's a girl that loves to eat. Yeah. So I loved documenting it for everyone and showcasing amazing places. In particular, mom and pop shops. Those were my favorite things to showcase. Stuff on the south side, on the west side, places that really weren't being showcased, because most of the time everybody is looking for the new and the what's hot, what's happening, Instagram worthy. But I'm over here like, I'm a south side girl. I'm going to show you the hole in the walls that I used to go to when I was growing up. So I like to showcase restaurants and events. I'm a girl that loves to be out and about, so I'm literally going to like 3 events in one day.
I see that.
So if I'm going to tell you about an event, it's probably something that I'm going to or something that I've been to before, because I just love being out there. So I want to showcase that San Antonio is not boring. There's so much to do. There's so many incredible creatives here in San Antonio putting together amazing events. Yeah. So I love to showcase those events. And I also just showcase myself, and just being myself, being a Southside chunky Tejana girl, queer woman, just living my best life in San Antonio.
So what did you so what did you do before Siempre San Antonio? Before that happened, what were you doing?
Yeah, so I did quite a few things. First and foremost, working in the service industry, working in restaurants. And then from there, I went to call centers. And from the call centers, I was a recruiter in a call center. And that was super fun. I really love talking to people. And that gave me the chance to talk to a whole bunch of people. And from there, I ended up going to a nonprofit called Alamo Area Resource Center. Shout out to them. They provide resources to folks who are living with HIV and to our LGBTQIA plus communities. And so and excuse me, my eye is watering. I'm not crying.
Not a jokey bag. I woke up with a headache. My husband woke up with a headache. Your eyes water.
My eyes are so watery. So I'm not crying. I might cry, actually. I am literally an emotional bitch. So I will probably cry. I'll probably cry, but even though I don't want to lose an eyelash. Anyway, I worked at a nonprofit and I was there for some time. It was really amazing work that I got to do, but it also was super draining. Hearing everybody's stories, and I'm so grateful. I'm so lucky that I get to do what I get to do, and that I've never gone hungry before, and all that stuff, And so, like, hearing everybody's stories and stuff, it's day to day to day. I'm just like, wow, it's a lot, but it's emotionally draining. So shout out to those folks who are still doing the work in the nonprofits world. Y'all are amazing. But from there, actually, when I was at ARC, I was telling my colleagues, like, I want to actually be a content creator. Like, this is what I want to do. And because I was because I was working downtown, is very central. And so I was able to like explore more during like my lunch or like after work or before work. And so I would start like exploring the west side and the east side, stuff that I was mostly on the south side, sometimes most of the time on the north side. So being able to explore the west side and the east side and showcase places there, that's how I pretty much got started. Yeah. And so once I kind of had like a good footing and somebody that was in my life back then I always shout out to them because they were incredible in saying, hey, I see that you have potential at this. Go ahead and just do this full time and we'll make it work. And so I'm so grateful to that person till this day for letting me do that. And now here I am. I'm able to do it full time. I get a lot of really cool partnerships with amazing businesses. So it's just been a wonderful journey that people care about my opinion. That's really the biggest thing is like they actually care about my opinion. And when people come up to me, because a lot of people come up to me in public and they're just like, oh my God, I love your recommendations and this and that. And I'm like, awesome. Like, I'm happy that the things that I like people also enjoy because I'm not going to showcase something I don't like. Right. But I also am not going to be a negative person. We'll talk about that.
Do you feel any type of pressure now that you've been doing it so long to obviously to push out other recommendations, but then like the culture of an influencer can easily, to your point, get swayed in a negative way of like, oh well, you have the trolls and comments. I mean, there's so many different layers to it. Do you ever feel any type of pressure, or do you have is there a time where you kind of your balance, you're able to say, you know what, I'm going to take a step away this week or this weekend or whatever? Yeah. What does that look like for you?
Well, thankfully now I do have the opportunity where I could just be like, you know what, I'm going to chill for a moment. It's really nice that I do have the ability to do that now with my content, but still content is king. And everything is content for me these days. That's just the life of a content creator. And I don't ever call myself an influencer. There's such a negative connotation to that.
I get that
word that I just never do. I'm a content creator and a San Antonio enthusiast is what I call it, what I say. Shout out to my friend Bianca because she's the one who coined that term for me, San Antonio enthusiast. So that's what I use now.
Okay, cool.
It's in my bio. But so I'm just so lucky I get to chill if I don't want to do so. And I just go and really just enjoy myself and go to places that I actually want to go to. I never went to places that I didn't want to go to, but there's also not a lot of places that I don't want to go to.
Yeah. Well,
there's so many great places here.
I think that's what's so clear. I mean, it's very clear on your socials that you're not forced to go. You're not, it's not like someone's, hey, Gabby, let's pay you this amount of money to come and review our place. It is very authentic, and it's obvious that you are going because it matches this curated. And I say curated because there's also some intention in your vibe, right? Like, you're not going to welcome the negativity, and you are someone that welcomes all walks of life, right? So the curation of that, it's just so obvious and authentic. And I know people probably tell you, but I have to tell you here, make sure it's documented, that for people like me specifically, I can only speak from my experience of, like, I very slowly have been dabbling in content creation on TikTok, and just really understanding that, because it's a monster in itself, right? Like, understanding how things tick, no pun intended. But
that's a good one.
But that leads me to my next question of, have you always been this person? Have you always been Gabby out, from what I see, right? I don't know you personally that way, but you seem to be very, speak your mind, stand up for what's right. The life of the party. It seems that way on socials. So has that always been your character, or it's kind of evolved?
Well, it definitely has evolved. I can definitely say that I've become more confident doing this, because back in the day, yes, I had this personality still, because that's just who I've always been.
Yeah.
But being in front of the camera was hard. I literally was the type of person that I'm still so self-conscious, by the way. Like, sitting here, I'm just
fidgeting.
And like, you can see my rolls, my double chin, all the things. And so, but at some point, I just have to be like, fuck it, like, this is who I am. This is probably not going to be who I am forever. Like, I'm about to hit the treadmill sometime soon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and even if you don't,
who cares?
Yeah, like, I ain't wiping your ass, paying your bills. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
honey.
Do you?
Yes, but obviously, I do want to do it for myself.
Of course.
But it's just like, also just being a woman and we are our own worst enemies, just in general, not just women, everybody.
It's who we are
We're our own
creature.
worst enemies, and society tells us that we need to be a certain type of way. But I definitely wanted to just be like, you know what, this is who I am, and love it or hate it, because I do get lots of hate comments, from mostly men, cis men. I'm just cis men. Yeah. Talking shit and saying, like, this whole, like, Charles Barkley shit. Oh my God, that is the most annoying thing, because
that, like, haunt your TikTok?
It's literally the same shit over and over. Oh, Charles Barkley was right. Charles Barkley, like, get something new, honey.
Yeah.
Like,
there's many other critics out there. Like,
real.
Adopt another one.
It is so, and plus, I've been a big girl my whole life. Yeah. It's literally what I've heard. I mean, not a lot of people have been mean, like, because people aren't going to say shit to your face.
Right, of course not. It's usually the user 2222225
yes,
or whatever.
It's the trolls that are going to be behind their keyboard. But nobody ever says anything to your face. And so my whole life, I've been a big girl. I know this. Like, say something different, because you can't, honey. Yeah. You can't. Like, I get paid to eat. So,
I was just going to say, like, you know what? Like, joke's on them. Joke's on them. That's how I feel. Like, I think, like, for someone like it kind of goes back to, like, and you can probably attest to this, like, when you're part of the queer community, nowadays things are changing. I'm not going to sit and say that we are where we were. Well, I mean, at this point we look like we're getting back to it, but we are where we were when I was, in 2008, when I was graduating high school, for instance. We aren't there. I was one of the only gay kids in my school. Now, I love when I go back to my high school to do, like, speeches or things, I see little boys wearing makeup, and they're just within their group, being and existing, and I'm watching. I'm in the cafeteria watching to see, like, and they're just existing, and no one's snarking at them, no one's laughing. They're with a huge group of people. Like, it just, it's so sad for me in my day, and probably back when you were in school. It's like, dang, I wish I had that. But nowadays, it's a little different, right? Like, it is a little different. But all that to say is, when you were talking about, like, loving who you are, and I'm no therapist. I actually started therapy a couple months ago, and I love it.
Good for you. I need to start therapy.
Oh my gosh, I have a therapist. I can, and
yes, please.
Very affordable on the south side.
I love that.
On the south side.
Yes, we'll get that
shout
link
out to my
later.
therapist. But what I've been learning is that, you know what? Like, at the end of the day, to your point, you have to love who you are, and that is never going to be 100%.
Absolutely.
For the people that are watching, that think that those of us that are maybe on camera a lot or on socials that are content creators, they think like perception is reality. They think that everything is perfect. And it's a never ending process of loving yourself. So it's such a real thing that you talk about that. Let me ask you this. This is like so not even planned. When you say like, I've always been a big girl. Like I've been a big girl. Now is that something as a big girl that you've called yourself? Is that something that if someone's like, oh, you're a big girl, let me ask you this. Is that offensive? Or is it, because like, for instance, like there are so many different labels that people give themselves, but when someone, it's like, oh, I can say that, but you cannot say that. And I'm digging into that because I think there are a lot of people that relate to that. And there are a lot of women in your exact position that veer away from it. But it seems like you lean into that. It's an empowering thing of saying this is who I am. I am a big girl. And what? Is that something that's offensive to you?
No.
Okay, good.
No, because but yes, right? We live in San Antonio.
Right.
We have good food. We have tortillas. We grew up eating tacos. You know what I mean? Rice, beans, all the stuff, all the deliciousness. So yes, we got a lot of big girls here, a lot of tortas or whatever. Yeah. But I love tortas. Like they're delicious, you know?
From where? Where's your favorite?
My favorite torta? Oh. Dang, why do people
I know.
Every time. I'm like, hold on, now you got to.
Now we're like testing. Well, you know what? Hold it. We're going to do a rapid fire at the end.
Oh, God, no.
Hold on to that. But they're really easy. Okay. They're really easy. I would never make them hard.
Those always freak me out because, so as a person who talks about food, I get that question all the time and I'm like, I like deer in headlights, always freak out. I'm just like, I have places, there's lots of places I've been to, but it doesn't come to mind because then I'm just like, you got me in the moment. I don't know what to say. Like that happened yesterday and I had just eaten food and so I was really full and I had to work on like some content and somebody asked me that question and I was just like, I'll get back to you on that.
You're like, I can't even think about food right now. I'm full as hell.
No, seriously, I was. But yeah, that always happens to me. But now I'm like, where's my favorite? Have I even had that many tortas?
Like,
I don't even know.
You've been to a bazillion restaurants. So
so one of my favorite, actually, let's get back to that because my friend, and I always shout them out, but right now they're on like a temporary little thing. But my friend Chris of Alebrije, it's a little bakery out in, where is it? Government Hill area. So their little bakery is great. And she had started having food available like chilaquiles and tortas. And her tortas, all of her food, all of her baked goods are amazing. I always shout out my friend Chris with Alebrije. So hopefully they'll open up soon again so everybody can try all their stuff. But yeah, so it takes me a moment to be like, boom, there.
You have to go through your filing cabinet like,
literally. I've been to so many places, but that's another thing is like people think that I've been to so many places, which I have, but there's still so many places that I have not gone to. Yeah. Also, I'm not a bougie girl at all. I'm literally like mom and pop, hole in the wall. Let's do some sales. Let's get some cheap eats and stuff. That's what I like. Yeah. And so when it comes to like bougie places and stuff, I can't say I'm the person to really ask that question. Yeah. But those are some things that I'm looking to explore a little bit more of, but I'm still going to be that down home girl. Take me to Bud Jones.
I was just going to say, like,
take me to Bud Jones.
Take me to the place that maybe has like one stall bathroom and it may not be the most up-to-date bathroom and the employees have to use the same one. Like, that's how you know you're in a good spot. You know what I mean? Or they bring out the tea in the red cup. Like, that's the vibes that you give. Before we go a little bit more, before we go in, deep into Siempre and how you... If you don't mind me calling it Siempre.
I love that.
But before we dive into that, I want to know more about like your upbringing and like who you are. So, off camera, we talked about high school, right? We talked about what area you were from, which we'll probably reiterate here in a second. Yeah. But talk to me about dynamic, bringing your upbringing, because I would imagine what we're going to find out is that there's a reason why you have so much love for the culture. There's something instilled in you, and I want to know what that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is it your grandparents? Is your brothers, sisters, parents?
I thank you for asking. Yeah, I grew up on the south side of San Antonio. I grew up with amazing parents. I still have my grandparents. Nice. Just one set. Just one set. Hey, but I'm so grateful to have them. They still live on the south side. My dad is, again, I grew up with amazing parents. And so we would literally, growing up on the South Side, we would most likely on the weekends spend our time going to Bud Jones, going to the flea market, especially like the Poteet flea market.
I was just gonna ask, what's your favorite
we were out
flea
there,
market?
Poteet flea market.
Poteet.
That one, it used to be Centeno on the South Side, but Centeno's no longer existent. I also enjoy Eisenhower. I'm a flea market girl.
Not been to
And
Eisenhower
Pika Pika
in a
Plaza,
minute.
like all of it.
Eisenhower
Yes,
is still bumping.
it's still doing its thing.
I have not been in a minute. I went to Mission the other day with my dad.
I love Mission.
Love it, but
it's hot.
Oh my gosh. I had sunburn the next day. I was like, we were there forever. Anyways,
no, Mission is amazing.
It is.
But I grew up going to Poteet.
Okay.
And so like sitting there watching people on the dance floor, like that just gave me life. And my dad was an incredible dancer. And so just like seeing him and my mom dance and just being at the flea market was just like on a Sunday. Yeah. It's just like brings back so many memories, getting that ice cream cone and just living my best life. There was this man there that my dad was like became friends with, and he had a pool table, and my dad also was a good pool player, and so we would go watch my dad while he was playing pool, and he would win us these little monitos, and we had so many monitos that he would win us from this man at the Poteet flea market. And so just like those memories, right? And so my parents, my dad, all we would listen to was Tejano music whenever we were driving to these places. And so Tejano has a huge, it's just a big part of my life. Like Tejano music it's so nostalgic to me. And so I think that's like very like that core. Is the cultura right there. You know, Tejano music, the flea markets, going to all the Southside joints with my parents. And so my dad was a huge like lover of San Antonio, where he loved talking about nostalgia. And so he was a part of this Facebook group that was called Classic San Antonio. Okay. And so they would just go and chit chat about, oh, do you remember this? Do you remember that? Oh. And I thought that was so cute. Like my dad loved San Antonio so much, and especially his South Side. He loved the South Side. So anytime we would go back, we would drive around and he would tell us like, I did this there, I went there, I did that. And he loved telling us about the South Side. Yeah. And so those were always those memories of talking about the city with my dad. Unfortunately, he did pass away a couple of years ago. Okay, so everything that I do these days, I'm always like, he's always at the forefront of my mind saying like, I hope you're seeing this. I hope you're seeing how much San Antonio means to me because you instilled that in me, and how much San Antonio is loving me. Yeah. You know? It's
almost like, and
now I really need this.
Let me also just say, I have to interrupt you in saying that I am not an emotional bitch. And I was literally about to get emotional before you even talked to me about your dad passing. Because I feel this, if you only know if you are from the South Side. Mm-hmm. You only have this, it's your core, regardless if you move to Stone Oak, regardless if you move to Austin, wherever you will at your core always be a South Sider. Mm-hmm. And I think you identify with this. Absolutely. Like, I don't care what anyone says about the South Side. It is not a bad place.
No.
And I think that for some reason, I think our generation, and are you an older sibling or do you have brothers and sisters?
My sister's older, but like by 1 year.
Oh, okay. So my point though is that like we have this weight, whether it's our responsibility to have it or not, we carry this thing of it is our responsibility to prove that the South Side has it, right? That we are just like every other side of town or part of any other city. And so I felt convicted to say that because it feels like that is where your heart is. It feels like you have it. And then as I was thinking that, you mentioned it was your dad has passed. Yeah. And that was his life. That was his core. Those were his proud moments. Yeah. So it makes sense now why, you're a Southsider at your core, and that lives in all of us from the South Side. But that added layer now of your dad. Mm-hmm. And it's so crazy because it's like, you're right. I don't even think that it's him watching over you saying, you don't even have to look up and say like, I hope you're seeing this, because I think that the love you're feeling is him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the love that's coming back to you because you're doing it with such authenticity. You know what I mean? And it's crazy that you bring up the Hano music. Oh, I'm sorry, but it's crazy that you bring up the Hano music because like it's something that I'm starting to learn, and I'm happy that you're talking about it because you're gonna hate that I say this, so don't hate me. And shout out to all the Hano people that I'm friends with. I just don't like the Hano music, or I haven't, because growing up, my association was. I love my parents. Shout out to my parents. But you know, the South Side, our Latinos love to drink. And growing up, my parents loved to drink, and we were at all the weddings, and I always wanted to go home. And I was a single kid. I was a single child, so I was always bored, and like so I associated that with, oh my gosh, like all they're doing is singing. I don't even know Spanish, and you know all the things. But now I do PR and stuff for the Navaida family, and so I'm very in the Tejano now, and it's crazy that my life has taken this circle, and I'm at the Tejano Music Awards, I'm at Tejano gigs,
amazing.
But it's now I bring that up because now I'm so grateful for it. Now my husband is a huge Tejano person, which I never knew when I met him. He's from New Braunfels. But, and so now in my house in the morning, he's playing it. And like, it's not so much like anymore.
Yeah.
Now I'm feeling at one with that part of my culture. So anyways, I feel like you needed to hear that because it also is with the work that you're doing, because you're starting to make it more mainstream and acceptable to love the culture. Not just San Antonio, but the culture that makes San Antonio.
Yes.
So your dad would be very, very proud. I hear people tell you that all the time, but he absolutely would. So now tell me about when you briefly talked about it right now, but before we were filming, you said y'all moved from the South Side. So how long were you away from the South Side?
So I was never, we moved away from the South Side for quite some time because my dad was living on the North Side. Okay. And so, or did I say working or living? Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
He was working on the North Side. And so they moved us to the North Side so we could be closer. And so I ended up going to a little bit of middle school there and then into high school. Okay. And then I was able to go back to the South Side for a little bit, but then I went back to the North Side. And so it was a little bit like that. But I always went back to the South Side. Like you lived on the
South Side in the sense of like when you did things.
Yes. It was always on the South Side. My grandparents lived there. They still live there. And my uncle and like most of my family is on the South Side. So I was always on the South Side on the weekends or whenever I had free time. Okay. That's where I lived my life. And so I rep the South Side hard, I'm I guess North Side, whatever, but like I'm a South Side girl.
Whatever, do your thing, right? It gets
there's just like, there's no cultura, there's no history, nothing there. And so I'm just like, I love everything about being a South Sider and just my younger years growing up on the South Side. And so and it's funny because people, we talk about dialect and stuff, and people are like, I remember going from the North Side to the South Side and meeting up with some friends, and they're like, why do you sound so white? I'm like, girl, they would say that. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's just so funny to me. But I do say, okay, well, then my South Side comes out, right?
Yeah. Because you're being conscious about it.
And so when I'm talking to people, the South Side does come out. We do that and stuff like that all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just who we are. It's within us. It's within us.
I have a funny story about that. I was in college, right? And it was my first year of college, literal first semester, first day in Spanish class in college, which I went to UT in Austin, and ridiculously, like, stupid, dumb, hard, like, over dramatically hard. There was no reason. But anyway, so I'm in the Spanish class, and I'm next to people from, like, Lubbock to Alabama to, right? And we have little name cards. And I'm just talking and getting to know people. And she's like, why? With the real Southern twang, that she was actually from Alabama. She was like, why are you in this class anyway? And I was like, and I just looked at it, I was like, oh, like, well, one, because I need to learn Spanish, which I never did. But number two, is we need it for the degree, right?
Yeah.
And so she's like, you don't know Spanish? And I was like, and so I kind of like look at her and I'm like, oh, no, but I'm not taking it any type of way. I'm just like, oh, no, I don't know Spanish, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh. She's like, well, your last name's Valdez and you have a Spanish accent. And I just busted out laughing. And I was like, oh, well, you're confusing that with the South Sides of San Antonio accent because those are two different things, girl. But it's so true. It's that twang, that like, the or even certain words. I catch myself and people are like, oh, you say that funny. And even I'm a real estate agent now. And, I've been doing this for about 6 years. And when I find myself in these professional atmospheres, I start to catch myself not the accent. I start to catch myself worrying about the accent. And to your point, it's like, what does it fucking matter?
Yeah.
What does it matter? I have a lot of knowledge about the real estate industry, and that's all you need to know, right?
Exactly.
So I feel that on a very real level. So you talked about, moving with your family and your dad's work. Did you, prior to who you are now, what's like a hurdle that we wouldn't assume that someone of your stature, and I say stature meaning content creator with many followers and a lot of fans, I will say, is there something that people would be surprised to know that you had to overcome, that you maybe haven't talked about or that the public wouldn't really know?
I mean, I think it's just the fact that the confidence part,
okay.
It's just the confidence part. And for a while there too, like mental health, issues come up for me, being that I'm a very anxious person. I have ADHD or ADD, I don't know, one of those,
they call it these days.
And so like I have these things that are hurdles in trying to get out and do things. Sure. I think that's a big thing is like, well, going back to the whole confidence thing and being in front of the camera, that was really difficult for a while because I didn't ever put myself in front of the camera. You'll see that in my earlier years online, it was mostly showcasing like the food and the murals and the this and the that. Yeah. And so I was always behind the scenes because I didn't want to put myself in front of the camera because I am a bigger girl and I didn't want to get the hate and I was not confident in myself. And then I don't know I honestly don't know when or what it
when
was.
The switch happened.
Yeah, but it was just like, you know what? I'm happy. I want to be in front of the camera. I am a ham. I want to showcase. I just want to be in front of the camera. Here, this is me, baby. You know what I mean? I don't know when that switch was. Like, honestly,
Which is good that you don't know when that
I have no idea. It just happened. And now I'm just like, yay.
Yeah. Like now you can never go back.
Oh, camera? Okay.
Yeah. Like as soon as you see the light, you're on.
Yeah, exactly. But like there's still, I may show this confidence that you see, but I'm behind the scenes, absolutely not.
Well, I think people forget that at the end of the day, and you are very authentic, but at the end of the day, content creation or just being a personality, there is a fine line. Not to say when these cameras turn off, we're a different person. Yeah. But we also know this is a little bit of an elevated version because it's for entertainment.
Absolutely.
And it's for it's attraction, if you will, right? Yeah. So it's like going on a first date. You're not going to be your own self, right?
But I do say, going off of that, I have heard from many people, not just my friends, but people that have met me. They're like, oh, you're exactly who you are. And that's who I am. I'm not anything else. I'm showing you exactly who I am. I will cry on camera. I don't give a shit. Yeah. If I'm feeling emotional, I'm going to tell you because it's real. It's who I am. Everybody has emotions and I'm just showcasing this is my life. The life isn't as perfect as everybody makes it seem online. No.
You know what I mean? We don't all look like that. Yeah.
Honey. And so, I don't mind being that, but it's so fun that people, when they meet me, they're like, this is crazy. Like, I only see you on my phone and you're right here and you're literally the same person. Yeah. And I'm like,
I will say, I feel like I need to tell you this too, because I feel like maybe people watching feel this way. And this is this should be a huge compliment to you. And I don't mean it in any negative way. You should be so confident in yourself because you're intimidating in the best way possible. I was so nervous to film with you. I'm not making this shit up.
What?
I was so nervous because someone of your stature, I think that you probably, and actually my producer Dom told me this the other day when I was first starting filming. He was like, I'm just so nervous, like da-da-da, and like, I don't know if I'm going to do it right, if I'm going to do it wrong, but I know this is what I was born to do. Like, I feel this conviction, right? And so all that to say is that like, I think you deserve to, and I'm sure you do this every now and then, but to reflect and realize who you've become and what you stand for, because then there's people like me who aspire to be like you. And I was so nervous to meet you and so nervous because I've seen you from afar at events and I'm like, oh my God, Siempre San Antonio's here.
Oh no.
but not in a way of I'm scared of you because I think that you're going to be ugly off of camera or, you know, not yourself. But there is something to be said about that intimidation of because we're human, right? And we have these human feelings. It's like, all that to say, you should applaud yourself because that takes some time to get to, and it shouldn't go unseen or unsaid. So all that to say, I say that I mean that in the best way possible.
That so
it's a
much.
big deal.
That is very kind of you to say.
It's a very big deal.
It's so nice, you know, saying that. I appreciate that. But I also see whenever I'm out and about. I do get approached a lot, which is amazing. It still blows my mind every single day. I'm just like, now I'm used to it. But before I was just like, what is happening? And people wanting to take pictures with me. I'm just like, but what? Like, it's just me. I just do Instagram, TikTok. Like, I'm not, exactly, right? For now. But it just blows my mind every single day. But I'm like so grateful that people are not, like you were saying, okay, at least I don't have like an RBF or something, right? And people are like, she's scary. I'm not going to go say hi to her. No. But they're like, I came to say it. But then there's people in the comments that are like, oh, I saw you at this event and I was so scared to come say hi to you. I'm like, don't be like, let's say hi. Let's kiki, honey. I don't mind it. Like you. I love it so much. Like just yesterday, a new friend was like, does this happen all the time? Because I was approached a few times and they're like, does this happen? I'm like, it does. It's often that this happens now. And they're like, oh, okay. But I'm just like, I did have to learn because sometimes you don't have a good day, right? Unfortunately, we don't have good days all the time. And so when I'm out and about, you always have to be on. Like I'm always on.
It's exhausting.
It does get exhausting, but I'm also just always on. Like people give me, I feel like the people give me if my battery is low, the people give me the juice, and I'm just like do, you know. Nice. Whenever I'm around a lot of people, I love being around people. Like it's just what I meant to do.
So you don't get like anxiety or nervous when, let's just say, you're going to the Margarita Festival. Let's just call that, right? You're going to the Margarita Festival and you know there's going to be tons of San Antonians there. That doesn't give you any anxiety? Or do you still feel a sense of like, oh gosh, like I have to prepare myself? Or is that like, I can't wait to go?
Well, these days I don't.
You don't get anxiety?
These days I don't. Before I used to. I used to get really bad anxiety. But these days I just don't. I'm just like, I'm excited. I'm like, what's the next event? Oh, how many more events can I go to today?
You know? Oh my gosh, how many can I fit in?
I just love like being around people and doing things. Like I get mad FOMO. I have terrible FOMO. So literally if I'm not somewhere and I see people, I'm like, oh, I should have been there. Yeah. And so that's where I'm going to go back to the mental health aspect of it, where I have this like, I don't know, my friend told me it's, because I was diagnosed with anxiety and diagnosed with ADD. Who hasn't been, you know? It's just like a common thing, unfortunately, that everybody has these days. But I'm not stigmatizing it at all because like we all deal with it. But apparently there's this thing with like ADD or ADHD where you get like some sort of paralysis where it's like, you know that you have things to do, but you don't do them. And it's just like you're stuck. And so I've gotten that many times where I'm just like, I need to go get content. I need to go to this event. I need to go. But like, I just have to come on, do it.
And then once you get started, it's
then I'm like, hell yeah.
Like,
because then some people have told me like, oh, well, you don't have to. Like, I said, but I want to. Yeah. I want to. But my brain and my body is just like, right now. Don't just sit here on the couch. Wow. And I'm like, no, but I want to do things. Like I really do.
Like such a real thing that I think that everyone experiences. Yeah. Specifically content creators, which I want to talk about now, a little bit of that. I think that we have, I'm going to compare it, which I hate to do this, but we compare it to like celebrities, right? So when we see a celebrity, it's like, oh, Jennifer Lopez has to be friends with Nicki Minaj. Duh, they're both famous. They probably have never even been in the same room together besides like an award show. So on the content creator level, I assumed, and we talked a little bit before, I assumed that all your friends are just content creators because, I mean, how not, right? But then you confirmed with me, yeah, well, actually, most of my friends are content creators,
Yeah.
which I would imagine ends up being a little bit normal in that space because, well, you go to a lot of the events of the same. Maybe you guys obviously have similar views because you're at those events. So talk to me about that. Do you have a good balance of content creators? Not? Is it more content creators?
Yeah.
If so, who are they? Let's shut them out. Let's talk about them.
Yeah, I do have mostly content creator
Okay.
friends. Two of my besties, Jasper St. James and Jess. Jess is not a content creator, but she is a creative.
Okay,
She's
okay.
incredibly creative. She is amazing. But she's not like a full-time content creator. That's not what she really does. And Jasper, he's also creative and is a content creator and has created a lot of amazing things.
Y'all partner a lot on things.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot.
So we partner together, and this is all thanks to Jasper for putting me and getting me a part of the Queer Singles Mixer, which we do, which is so
let's be honest.
fun.
Yeah.
It is so fun. So if you're a queer single, be sure to follow Jasper, follow myself, so that you can find out when the next mixer is. It's so much fun. We get the queer community together, which is something that's needed. Like
especially now,
it is so needed to find these spaces. And we don't even say that it's only queer people that can come.
Yeah.
Allies, just anybody
Which
can
I
come.
I love that about y'all.
Because we could just, have a good time, meet new people, like-minded folks. And so the mixers are super fun. And then Jasper decided that he also wanted to do a walking club, a queer walking club. And it's been amazing to see how it went from not to, I mean, honestly, the first one,
I was going to say.
The first one was pretty big.
Yeah, like what y'all had
it
almost
was pretty big.
Like what, 75, 100 people. Like it would look like a huge group.
It was a good amount of people for the first one because it was needed. And so, and then I had posted about that one. And then the second one was crazy. And I hosted that one because Jasper was under the weather. So I hosted that one. And that was overwhelming because there was a ton of people because that post went crazy.
I was dying,
that post went crazy.
But I was dying of the one where y'all had a meetup and it just happened to be that it was like across the street from like an actual run club. I think that was like the second one or something. Maybe the first one.
No, it was the first one.
The first one, I was dying because it was, I think Jasper had posted like, what are the odds first off? But like, we're going to stand over here. We ain't running. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
But I want to touch on that, Jasper, if you're watching this, which you better be because your bestie's on here. I want to touch on that because I live by the term or the phrase birds of a feather flock together. And now it is so apparent to me, the light that I see from Jasper, because I don't know him personally, but the light that I see from him is like, okay, it makes sense why y'all are friends.
Yeah.
Like it just
friends.
literally, y'all could be brother and sister. Like as far as what I see and what I'm feeling, you know what I mean? So shout out to Jasper because your light is being felt.
Incredible.
But that walking, so me and my husband literally have talked about it every week because my husband is a runner and I just started my running journey and I was like, well, there's days like I just don't want to run. And I know my little training session thing says I have to run 2 miles, but I just want to walk. And so I'm putting it in the atmosphere here. I'm putting it out in the world that within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to go to the queer walk because every piece of footage that I see from it, it's literally everyone's laughing and walking and talking. I don't see one person walking in silence at all. And like, for me, that's rare. You don't see that camaraderie these days because of whether it be political views or just, to your point, having a bad day, right? Yeah. Sometimes people are just in their own world and they forget about the energy around you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the fact that y'all are doing that is amazing. So y'all do the walk, you have the mixer. Are there anything else that you guys have kind of started to dabble in, like together as a pair, you and Jasper?
Yeah. Well, nothing yet. Okay. I'm sure much more to come. There is so much that we could do, especially I think our biggest thing is with our queer community because we don't have a lot for us, and so I'm just so grateful that, again, being a queer woman, that I have been able to be myself and people are still loving what I do and not like judging me for
Letting
who I
it
love.
cloud
You
their
know what I
judgment. Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Of course, there's people out there that are being haters and
will.
stuff, but most of the community that I've built have been so amazing and accepting. And so, and there's not a lot, I mean, just thinking about it, I feel like out of the content creators in San Antonio, I think I might be the only queer woman or bigger creators,
of course,
bigger creators. As far as I know,
awesome.
you know, if you're out there, let me know, you know, let's be friends or whatever.
Can I just
because
say
I
that's
love that.
awesome?
Yeah.
But also too, it's awesome because you're creating a space for a lane, right?
Yeah.
But then it's also like, well, shit. Like there needs to be more, which I think you're the start of that, right? Like there is a space for everyone and a lane for everyone.
I mean, it took me a moment to be out.
Yeah. May I ask
fully
why?
to the world.
Was there
absolutely.
that
yeah,
was
my
kind of
anxiety.
Okay.
I don't want negative. I don't care about the negative comments and stuff, but like people actually doing something always freaked me out.
Yeah.
Like saying, "Oh, she has a voice." You know, as a queer woman, she's using her voice. It scared me that people might retaliate or do something, you know, because I'm a public figure and you can find
you
me
anywhere.
It always scared me to just be like out and open with my sexuality or whatever. And so it took me a moment, but then I was just like, I don't want to live my life like this.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to hold my girlfriend's hand in public and, you know, do videos with my girlfriend in it.
And
you know what I
say
mean?
my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right?
And so it's been a journey, but I'm so happy that I got to the point where I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. This is who I am. My family accepts me.
Good. That was
my family accepts me. You know, fully through and through. And so I'm so lucky because there's a lot of people that don't have that support from their family, from friends and stuff like that. And I'm so lucky that I do. And so it also helped me, you know, be more open with who I am.
Yeah. And what you do.
And what I do.
It just opens another layer of just your core, right?
Exactly.
You talked about coming out. Did you always know you were queer? Did you always know that there was something quote unquote different, or is that something that happened later in life?
I think it was later in life.
Okay.
I feel like maybe I did have some of that back in the day, but I was talking to my girlfriend, and we were sharing our story, and her story is completely different than my story, you know, and like she always knew, and you definitely know she's a queer woman when you see her. I'm a cis woman. Like I look like a cis woman. You know, you wouldn't know. So it's like two different journeys, but it's crazy to hear that, right? And so it was definitely later in life that I was just like, you know what? Yeah, this is who I am. I am pan. I'm not a lesbian. I am pansexual, meaning it's all about the heart, not the parts. Yeah. And so it's been interesting, just like getting to know that side of me and finding amazing people like the person I'm currently with. Shout out. Love them so much. They're amazing.
How long have you been with them?
We're going on, I would say about like 4 months now.
Wow.
So it's fresh.
It's fresh. But fresh. Like those are the most important months, especially in our community. You know what I mean? Because you really get to learn someone.
Absolutely.
And then to be dating you, that's a big ask in the sense of like they have to get
and they're
used
not
to the
creators
attention.
at all. They're not a creator.
That was going to be my next question. Okay.
I told myself that's never happening.
Good.
Been there, done that.
Okay.
Never doing it again.
Okay.
I am.
And why, if you don't mind me asking, is it more of like it's almost like a struggle, or is it just kind of it just doesn't work?
It doesn't work.
Okay.
I feel like it's amazing. This person that I'm with right now is very much like, you are the star. And what did she tell me? Which was so cute. She said, I'm the Michael to your Gaga. And I was just like, yes, honey.
Yeah.
So basically she's like, I'm behind the scenes. Yeah. Like I don't need to be in. She loves seeing me do my thing. Yep. And I'm so grateful for that. she's an incredible human, and I'm just so excited to see where it goes.
Where did y'all meet, if you don't mind me asking?
On Bumble.
Okay.
I found my honey on Bumble.
I mean, it's so funny now when I talk to people, they're like, "Oh yeah," and we met on, and then they say a
no,
dating
we
app.
met on
I'm
Bumble.
like, do you know that I'm pretty sure everyone in the past 5 years has met their significant other on an app, because people don't go sit at wine bars and like meet people. Like it's just very rare.
I wish I said I met her at the Queer Singles Mixer.
Right. Like what
out.
a plug, right? You're like the first commercial. It's like I found mine at the, you know what I mean? Like I found my significant other. Okay, so let's talk about let's go back to Siempre a little bit more, because I'm curious to know, you've always loved San Antonio. You are an enthusiast and you love the South Side. But since creating Siempre, I would imagine that you have grown a closer relationship with San Antonio, even more so than before, or the South Side in specifically. But let's talk through that. Let's talk, is there anything that has opened up your mind as far as like, okay, now that I'm so connected, I'm seeing a need for this, or I'm realizing that my passions are now here. Talk me through that journey. Do you feel yourself gravitating from, I know you talked about like the nonprofit sectors, and then you've talked about like holes in the walls and helping businesses that aren't getting as much views or as much attention. So now that you're you're fully in it, where do you find yourself being pulled to when you're starting to content create?
Well, I mean, these days I'm still sticking with the hole in the wall spots. That's just my love. That's my passion for sure. It's always going to be that. I think a big thing that I want to do now is utilizing my voice for the good of our community. So you will see me out at the marches, because fuck ICE. And so I am a Latina woman. My, family are immigrants. Yeah. So obviously I'm going to use my voice to represent, shut this shit down. You know what I mean?
Represent a community that needs you.
And it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't use their voices for it, but it's like you're profiting off of the Latino community, but yet you're not supporting the Latino community. Amen. I am so grateful again that my circle, my friends use their voices, whether it be sharing on stories or actually going to the marches and actually putting, themselves out there. Yeah. I appreciate that. But like, I do see some people that just don't say anything. And I'm just like, say something, right? We need you to say something. And so I have always been that way, where I'm going to make sure that I'm using my voice for good. Yeah. You'll see me in the front lines at the marches, I'm there as I document, right? Yeah. But I'm there supporting, obviously. But you won't see me with signs or anything like that, because I'm there to be with the community, but I'm also like documenting what's happening out there. And so that brings me joy, like seeing our community come together. And then even I do want to utilize my voice for the fact that I am so freaking lucky that I don't have to go without food. Yeah. And I want to make sure that we could feed our community. So there's many more things that I want to do with like charity work and, I did put this one thing out there, which I do want to push again because I don't think I pushed it enough, but there's all these different community pantries all over San Antonio that are run by community. Yeah. So some of them are like in front of someone's house. And these people are putting their efforts into maintaining these things and asking the community for assistance. So I put out a video talking about this one pantry. It was Harlandale Sunshine Pantry. Okay. And I was telling people, like, let's go fill these pantries. Yeah. Like, especially, I wanted to do, like, foodies filling pantries is what I called it. Cool. Because us foodies are so lucky that we get food. You know what I mean? We don't have to go without. And this all stemmed from me knowing about these pantries first and foremost, because I filled them myself. But also, unfortunately, not too long ago, I saw a man go into the dumpster at the apartment that I was living at. And I was just like, what the fuck? So then I went into my pantry and got whatever I could and gave it to him. Yeah. But I was just like, there's literally people, obviously, I'm not blind to it. Right. There's people that don't have a place. I mean, they don't have a meal every single day. And it's really fucking sad. And I'm so lucky that I can have many meals in one day. You know what I mean? And so I just feel like there's more that I could do with my voice
It sounds
in
like you're
feeding the
called to that.
community.
Like,
It's very much.
that
I've
you're called to
always
that.
felt like I need to use my voice for the betterment of our
Amen.
people, and like it's going to happen. More to come on that. But also, like, I obviously want to do some more fun things, like having my own segment on TV one day. Like, it's going to happen.
Which I'm
like,
so surprised it hasn't happened yet. Like,
Well,
I feel like, and no offense to who I'm about to name, but like, I feel like you're like the cooler elder eats of the new. You know how they have the bit there, they do the food thing. I feel like it's just a matter of time before you get contacted about that, because it's just no way. Like, it's you're
David,
just,
I'm coming for your wig.
Yeah, like David,
just
get
kidding.
out of here. No, but okay, so. As far as your or let's go to Siempre. As far as your aspirations, when was it that you knew, like, oh shit, like this is a thing? Like, and I know it doesn't happen overnight, but like, was there a specific moment, an event, a video where you were like, oh shit, like this popped off and like people are actually enjoying it? Was it that you got invited to an event? Was it that you were just recognized on the street? When was that moment that you realized, like, oh shit, I'm a thing, like I'm a local celebrity? Because you are.
I think, well, one big thing that happened to me that I was like, what the heck, this is amazing. As a San Antonian that's been going my entire life to Fiesta, being asked to be on the Day Parade float.
Oh my gosh, that was so cool.
That was like a dream. That was a Puro Sananto like story, like fairy tale story right there. Like, KSAT was like, hey, we want you to be on our float.
Step one, by the way, of getting that.
It's crazy. You know what I mean? So that was like a big deal. But like with the whole videos thing, when it was years ago, because I've been doing this for probably like 5-6 years now, full time, or not full time, sorry. But I've been doing social media for like 6 years. And so when I posted a video about one of my still my favorite burger spots, Diana's Burgers, I had posted about them, and apparently they went wild.
Really?
That was one of the first ones that went crazy viral. Back in the day, it was literally back when like TikTok was first just coming up, and they would tell me, like, I went in there and they were like, Diana wants to meet you because like your video was so amazing and did so much for our business, it's a West Side little spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so being able to see that I made an impact in somebody's business was like, whoa, that's so freaking cool.
You were able to help pay their bills, like, which is, and not in a negative way. It's like, how cool to have that. And I say power, but it is a superpower. Yeah, it is a superpower.
It was really cool.
That is so amazing.
Yeah, and it was just like, just a video. I just went in like I usually do.
Yeah,
I
just did your thing.
Go in, take a couple of videos, because I'm not the type of person that's going to stand on a table and get food
like, boom,
shots
boom,
like
boom,
that.
Now let me try it.
No,
you know what I mean?
I'm just like, I'm still like this, like I hope nobody's watching me. I'm still real scared.
Oh, really?
Yes, I don't like it.
Interesting. Do you get anxiety of like filming in public?
Yes.
Really?
Well, especially now that I am a little bit recognizable. I'm just like, shit, now
they're already gonna know
somebody's watching that I'm taking a video, and I'm like, no, don't look at me. I'm scared. But no, that's just how I'm literally like this. Like,
like get the shot real quick. And wow.
Yeah, and like if one of my friends or something is getting a video of me from that, I'm like, hurry up. Yeah.
Like, take it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to. I could keep you, and I could probably talk to you all day.
No, seriously, same.
So let's do. I told you we're gonna do a quick fire.
Oh, geez.
Okay, and then we're gonna wrap it up at the end with a small segment that I really love to do with every guest. But this is super easy. I think it is. I tried to make it easy.
I hope
okay.
So
we're gonna start as easy as possible. So most slept on taco place. It's most slept on you, and not many people really go to it, but you don't know why, because they're just so amazing. Or just your favorite taco place?
Well, one of my favorite taquerias that I find myself going to often is Taqueria Chapala, Jalisco.
Okay. Which one? Where is
that one is on, I think it's like McCullough area.
Okay.
But then there's this one taco at this spot called, I think it's like Terans on the east side. And it's a massive taco, and it has, I don't know what's in it, but there's like a shit ton of stuff inside. Like literally everything you can think of in this one taco. And that one is bomb. Bomb. Really? I love going to Terans specifically for this taco.
Yeah,
the taco is probably like $5, $6,
Yeah, but I mean,
but
it's
it's
one huge thing.
massive.
Okay.
And of course, the OG donut shop, you know,
Oh, yeah,
there
yeah,
on
yep,
Fredericksburg, you know. So those would be some good taco spots.
Favorite pan dulce?
It's got to be Alebrijes,
Okay,
conchas.
you talked about it already.
But also, who is it? I'm going to say it so bad. La
Papalanderia, one of those places or what?
We're going to have to cut that because I can't say it for some reason. But no, for sure, I always shout out my best, one of my friends,
you said
Chris.
Okay.
Chris and her conchas are award winning. They're so delicious. But we love, and that's another thing I wanted to do. It's so funny that you bring that up. And I know this is rapid fire, but I'm still going to bring it up.
It's okay.
I wanted to go and explore more of the panaderias because we have so many, right? And the people are like, go to Mario's, go to this, go to that, and I'm just like, I want to try like all of them. Like that's going to be my goal. Try every panaderia.
Okay.
You're going to see me
series.
going to every panaderia. Content creators out there better not take that idea.
Yeah, you better not.
Or you can come with me.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But she's leading the crew, okay?
Let's go.
Okay, next one, enchiladas.
Enchiladas. Well, again,
Taqueria
Chapala, Jalisco.
That's your go-to then.
It's my go-to.
Okay.
So, you know, when I talk about taquerias, like everybody has their go-to taqueria, right? It's usually wherever you grew up or where you live at the moment because it's right convenient. There. And so there's so many amazing taquerias out there, like truly. It's throw a stone and you'll find one. You know what I mean? But like the one that I went to a lot because I was living in that area for quite some time was the Taqueria Chapala, Jalisco. And every time I talk about it to anybody, they're like, yeah, that's bomb. And I always get the tejas plate. So it comes with the carne guisada. And it's the cheese enchiladas, carne guisada, rice beans. Ugh.
I could eat carne guisada literally for every meal.
I literally am probably going to get an enchilada plate after this.
You're welcome.
It sounds so good. Honestly, it's a classic.
How do you
getting
judge,
enchiladas?
Okay, before I ask the next rapid fire question, how do you judge a good taqueria? Like my husband's like, oh, if their rice is bomb. Our cousin says like, oh, if they use, we call it government cheese, but if they use like government cheese, you know it's going to be good. Like, how do you judge a taqueria? Do you do that? Because for me, I'm like, oh, if they have good sweet tea, I know it's going to be good. So start thinking about that one.
I have to. No, because I don't. I literally am just like, and that's another thing with like being considered a foodie or whatever. I'm like, I'm just a girl who likes to eat.
Yeah, I just want to try it.
I've never been a chef. I barely made anything. You know, I could cook here and there. I've made enchiladas recently. Okay. Shout out to my mom for being on the phone with me the entire time while I was making her enchiladas.
She's like, FaceTime me, let me see the seasoning. Yeah.
No, she seriously was. But I just like to eat. Yeah. And thankfully, the things that I like, people are like, damn, that is good.
Yeah.
That's it. But I'm not going to be like a judge of things.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like, there are content creators that do that, like rating thing or the really getting down and like, I didn't like this or this or that, you know, and that's fine. That's your content.
Yeah.
That's you, you know. Me, I'm just like, I ate it. And it was delicious. I liked it. You know, I'm not going to give you a whole rundown of what it is, but that's just not my content.
You're also not claiming to be a food connoisseur.
I am
not
at all.
Like you're not going to know the hints of garlic. And it's like, come on, this isn't Emerald Live.
I always get nervous about that because I'm like, sometimes I would like to do a little trying thing, but I'm like, I'm just going to be like, yum, that's good. So good. It tastes like strawberries.
It also is not good, like, especially if you go and you haven't eaten all day. Like, I haven't eaten today. And everything you're saying, I'm like, I'm filming another episode after this. And, oh my gosh. Anyway, okay, so last one, and then I want to wrap it up with a quick little segment. Coffee shop.
Oh, coffee shop. So there was one that I recently went to that I thought was so cute, which I think you've talked about before. Now that I was doing a little research on it. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's such
it means so much to me.
Coffee shop.
I don't even know the owners. I met them the first time I went.
Yeah.
But the feeling that I feel when I'm in that coffee shop, it's ungodly. Like I
good
feel
vibes.
Yes.
Good vibes and the drinks are good. I felt really comfy. I was able to
Yes.
just like hang out.
I will go and work there and like put my headphones on and like I just feel so at one and
Yeah.
I'm like grinding out, working. I love it. Shout out to Nothing I Can Handle. I'm actually
Yeah,
having
it was
them as
real
a guest
cute.
actually
Oh,
because I love them
awesome.
so much and I don't know if you know their story.
No, I don't.
But it's amazing and we'll talk out camera.
I'm loving it. I'm
but
loving
yeah,
it.
I really do love
that. And I'm just talking about like ones that I recently went to. Almost Perk.
Okay.
They so sweet. Their people are so nice and so knowledgeable about their
coffee.
product. They're so knowledgeable. I think the family they're from Mexico and they're so knowledgeable. And this one coffee I had, I cannot remember what it was, but it had this like compote on the bottom. It was like raspberry.
Okay.
And she was like, it's like nature's boba. And I was like, it really tastes like nature's boba.
You're like, I don't know how you got it.
No,
But
it
it's
was
great.
so good.
Okay. So, you said Almost Park. Is it just
Perk.
almost? Oh, Perk. Almost Perk.
It's over there on Almost area where oh my gosh, what is it called?
Like by the fields or like a little bit deeper in?
Oh my gosh, there's like a train yard. So there's businesses inside these little old like train things.
Yes.
So like Crazy
exactly
Katsu's right there.
Yeah. Oh,
and
it's over there.
Yes,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's right
and
there.
I'm always looking for a coffee
Well, it used
shop.
to be another coffee shop.
Oh, okay.
It used to be another coffee shop, but they bought it and made it their own. And it's really cute. It's really comfy too.
Good to know.
It's definitely your vibe. Like I feel like you'll definitely like the vibe.
Go try it because I'm always looking. Okay, well, thank you. Okay, so I want to wrap it up because, like I said, I could be here all day with you. So with every guest that I bring on, I like to ask this very simple question, and you can look at the camera when you say it. You can talk to me. You can close your eyes. You can do whatever you want. It is your time. But I like to reflect, and I like people. That's the point of this podcast. The podcast is to get real with yourself, with the audience, and really dig deep. So the question I have for you is, if you had a moment and little Gabby was standing in front of you,
my gosh,
what would you tell her? What would you? And you can tell her anything. It could be a sentence, it could be a word, it could be a whole phrase, it could be a paragraph. But what would you tell little Gabby, knowing what you know about life now, how would you get her to navigate through the life that you live?
Oh my God, you're going to make me cry
It's
again.
okay,
I'm glad I have this tissue. I would say just continue to be yourself. You are going to do some amazing things. Make sure to cherish the time you have with your dad. Take lots of pictures and photos, and just, I think the biggest thing is like with my dad is like spend as much time as you can with him because he's going to be gone too soon. But also just like you just continue to be you. I think that's just the biggest thing is just you're amazing just the way you are, honey. You know, just be that crazy eclectic chunky tejana that you always been, and you're gonna go far.
You really are. And the main reason I do that is because like it makes you reflect and talk to yourself, because you don't do that often, I'm sure.
No.
So it makes you reflect and realize like, oh damn, I am a badass, and I have done these things, and my dad is near and dear to me. You know what I mean? Like it brings you back to your core. So thank you for coming. I really appreciate you. I've been excited about it when all my friends ask like, oh, who do you have? I'm like, and I'm getting Siempre San Antonio. They're like, from TikTok. I'm like, yeah. So, but if you guys are watching, feel free. Make sure you're subscribing. Follow Gabby on all platforms. Siempre San Antonio. It'll be in the description. It's down below as well, I'm sure. And this will be on all streaming platforms. So if you're watching on YouTube, shout out to you guys. And if you're listening on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast, we really appreciate you being here. And thanks for listening. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye.